For more on this story, I'm joined now by Calvin Dark. He is the president of RC Communications, a public relations firm here in Washington. So good news, no shutdown, but looks like we'll see a national emergency signed by Trump tomorrow. Friday is looming fast. What does this all mean? What will we see?
Well, I don't know what we'll see tomorrow, but I just want to say that if this had been President Obama, the Republicans would be on the National Mall protesting if the president decided to use money that Congress had denied him. That's the biggest thing that I see. I think tomorrow it's going to be kind of a letdown because I think he's going to sign the legislation so there won't be a shutdown. But I think this national emergency order is going to be like some of his other ones, where they're going to ask agencies to study what they should do to build it. So he gets to say that he had a national emergency declaration, but it doesn't actually spend money because he knows that will be taken up in the courts.
And will this actually happen? DOJ warning that there will be legal ramifications here. Will this just be tied up in the courts?
I think if he does actually do something that takes money already allocated to build his wall, it will be in the courts until the 2020 elections. That helps one person, President Donald Trump, because if it's knocked down tomorrow, then he loses. If it's in there until 2020, he gets to campaign on the fact that he is fighting for his campaign promise, and the courts are stopping him from protecting the country. So he wins in both of those situations.
Let's look at what Congress is signing and what they agreed to. Just a fraction of what was originally tossed around for the wall, but a little over $1 billion going toward funding at the border. What will that pay for?
Well, I thought it was interesting that, at least from what we've been told, there's a kind of an asterisk that it can't include concrete. So it's going to be fencing or something other creative way. What I think is most interesting is if you look at what President Trump was promised since last year, he's the master negotiator, but every time he gets something, it's less. So he had money actually for a wall in December. Now he has money for, I think it's 55 miles of fencing that can't include concrete. So what I do think will happen, apart from the politics, is that the money that has been allocated, one will be for humanitarian assistance for the countries whose citizens are coming here, and I think that'll have a practical benefit. And I also think with the immigration teams, the immigration judges, some of the housing issues, I think past the political debacle, it will actually help what's going on at the southern border.
A lot of members of his own party are actually divided about this national emergency. Explain for us why they actually don't want it to happen.
They don't want it to happen because they don't want President fill-in Democratic nominee, whoever that may be in 2020, to then say, well, gun control is a national emergency, or health care, or environmental protection. And they don't want to set a precedent that if the president can't negotiate with Congress, then they just go their own way and do it. And so even the ones that were most against it before are kind of slowly saying, well, maybe he needs to do it because he believes in it, but they know that they're setting a horrible precedent for not just them, but for our whole country, because then that takes away power from Congress.
Friday, we'll have to see what happens. We're getting pretty close to seeing if he signs this.
Exactly.
All right, Calvin Dark, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.